Welcome, Lily and Lauren. We are very glad to have you today.
Mhm.
Um, so this is supposed to be a bigger event. We have a lot of folks that are interested in this program, but they just weren't able to make it today. So luckily, we'll get a lot of time to help you figure out how you want to launch your initiative. So in some ways, it works out really well for both of you. But I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Lily, who will be facilitating most of today.
Yeah, so welcome guys. We're basically just, like Anika said, there's supposed to be a few more people here, but basically the point of this is to orientate you guys a little bit and so you guys can get to know the people that are going to be leading your partnerships. And so we can get to know a little bit more about you guys and basically try to figure out your expectations from these partnerships and these learning groups and how you guys want to structure it a little bit so it can be more like interactive discussion. So why don't we go into introductions now? I think we should start with the steps leaders first. Yeah, with the structure. I'll just call on Amari. And you guys don't have to keep repeating your locations if you don't want.
Okay. Hi, my name is Amari. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from Maryland. The issue I'm trying to solve is education equity. And did I say kitchen fail?
Yeah, it's like it was like a hit in our last meeting, like name one fail you've made in the kitchen, like mess up.
Oh, okay. So you know like that little like Kraft mac and cheese you get in the little container that you can put in the microwave really
Mhm.
quickly. So one time I was making it, but I forgot to put water in it and it caught on fire in the microwave. So yeah, that wasn't a fun clean.
That's also happened to me before. Um, okay, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Alex?
Okay, so hey guys, I'm Alex. My pronouns are he, him. The issue I'm trying to solve is also education equity, but I've been like trying to expand to other issues like climate change and common sense gun legislation. I don't really know if this would apply, but a kitchen fail that I had was when when my like my parents like redid our kitchen and we got a new stove. I like couldn't figure out how to turn it on, and I ended up like breaking the turning thing. So yeah.
Okay, Grace.
Hi everyone, my name is Grace Edwards. My pronouns are she, her. I live in Maryland, and the issues I am trying to solve are also education equity, but I'm also branding out, like Alex said. I'm very interested in healthcare and the inequities that we see in healthcare, especially when we see like underprivileged people, especially among the minorities who don't have access to healthcare. Kitchen fail, I guess when I was younger, I tried to make cupcakes and it just didn't work. I can't remember why it didn't work. Oh, actually, I think I put too much olive oil in the cupcake, so it was very oily. So that's my kitchen fail.
Okay, Lucabed.
Hi, I'm Luca Bed. I'm a rising senior from Maryland. My pronouns are she, her. And an issue that I'm working on is also ed equity. That's like my focus, but I work on many other issues and steps, ranging from like de facto segregation, um, and many more. But yeah, and a kitchen fail. I don't really cook that often to like have a kitchen fail. But I guess like it would kind of be like leaving something in the microwave for too long. But yeah.
Amaya.
Hi, my name's Amaya. I am a rising senior also, and then we're also all from the Maryland area. The issues that I'm trying to solve are equity education and then also like mental health awareness. I'm trying to start spreading into that. And then one kitchen fail that I've had is I was making waffles in the morning one time, and like the waffle maker we have, it has like a light on it. So like when it turns green, you're supposed to like flip it over and take it out. But I was like too busy, like, and I didn't hear it. And like I accidentally left the waffle on for like 10 minutes and like it started like smoking and stuff, and so like we almost had to get a new waffle maker. And then like I tried to like take it out, and they're like little like inserts, I guess, in the waffle maker, and they like fell out onto my hand, so it was just like a whole mess. So
I'm so sorry about that. Delina, I think, is our last steps leader.
Hey everyone, my name is Delina. My pronouns are she, her. I'm also from Maryland. And also my main focus right now is ed equity, but like later, I've been doing a lot of research on Black Lives Matter movement and everything that's going on lately, and like international stuff that's going on, issues that's going on right now. And I think this is a kitchen fail. I used to be so into baking. I used to bake cakes and cupcakes for like my whole family. And I was like, let me be bold and try to make macaroons. It did not work out because when I pulled it out the oven, it was all flat and it did not look like macaroons and it looked burnt. But yeah, I think it's a kitchen fail.
Okay, those were your steps leaders who are going to be, Lauren and Lily, those are the step leaders that are going to be leading the partnerships. If you guys want to use this framework to introduce yourselves, we'll start with Lily.
All right. Hi, I'm Lily. My pronouns are she, her. I'm in Houston, Texas. Let's see. The organization that I am heading is focused on education reform, mainly the intersection with racial justice. So like including more diverse resources, hiring more teachers of color, stuff like that. And then a kitchen fail, probably once I accidentally, or like I forgot that you're not supposed to put aluminum foil in the microwave, and I did, and it like it made this like big flash of like light in the microwave, but like thankfully I took it out before it caught on fire. But yeah, if you put aluminum foil in the microwave and then start it, your microwave will light on fire. So
Yeah, when I did this icebreaker for the first time, that was mine too, and it happened multiple times. So Lauren.
Hello, my name is Lauren. My pronouns are she, her. I live in Illinois. I'm very passionate about mental health and special education reform because of my own experiences. And the kitchen fail, it wasn't exactly making something, but we had Domino's pizza a previous night, and I was warming up leftovers, and then I finished warming it up, and it was 2 pieces of pizza. It was 1 skinny piece and 1 really big piece. And then I turned my back to get some juice because I put the plate on the table, and our dog, he jumped up on the table and ate the biggest piece.
Okay, thank you everyone for sharing. We're missing a few facilitators. We're missing Avery and Jaslyn. I think there's no one else, and we're missing a few partners as well, but hopefully we can kind of, for everyone who's missing, just take the structure of this meeting and use it to structure our one-on-ones, because it's mainly going to be based on introductions as well. So now we're going to talk a little bit about our expectations for the one-on-ones, because it seemed like a few of you needed more clarification on that. So we wanted you guys to basically figure out how you wanted your meetings to go and kind of just like loosely structure it on what you guys need. But we also want to let you know of our general expectations. So as you can see on Anika's screen here, we expect you to meet 6 times total weekly by September 7th for 30 minutes. They can go longer, or if you feel like you don't have anything else to talk about, maybe they can like end a little bit early, but that is the general expectation. This does count as the first meeting for some of you. So if you came to this one, you can meet 4 times. And if you didn't, then 5 times before our last meeting on September 7th altogether. Yeah, so basically that's it. We're going to be meeting again on September 7th to kind of debrief and what you guys learned.
Here, Lily and Lauren, this counts as your first meeting.
Yeah, for you guys. Yeah. The one about meeting 5 times is for people who aren't here. So now we kind of want to talk about prioritize Lily and Lauren, like what you guys were primarily expecting when you did this application and what you kind of want to come out of these 6 meetings. We can start with Lily.
Okay, I guess what I'm hoping to get out of it is just like, I don't know. I mean, like my organization just kind of started. I've been working on it for about a month and a half, I think, but like we're still kind of in the building phase. So like doing research on like how to improve education, how to reform education, and then like making partnerships with not just like organizations, but other activists in my area and people who can actually help us like affect change. So I guess that's like what I'm hoping to get out of it, and like just to see what y'all have done with steps, and you know, kind of use y'all as a guide for what I want to do.
So you want to use a partner, what you learned from the partnerships basically to help you build your own organization.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's great. I don't know who Lily's partner is, Anika. Who's Lily's partner? Which one are they here?
Yeah, I'm Lily's partner.
Oh, okay. So we kind of just decided we didn't want to go into breakout rooms with their partners because we didn't have enough people here, and some of your partners aren't here. So, I mean, you can kind of just talk a little bit about what you're expecting from Lily, and kind of like how you wanted to structure these one-on-ones.
So I mean, basically just like attending the meeting so that like I can kind of work with you, just coming with questions, and then like when we go into the first meeting, we'll talk more about like the expectations on like what like we should expect to move forward with each meeting, but kind of just like setting goals and like reaching them. And if we don't reach the goals, just kind of like reassessing ways that we can like reach the goals and different things like that. And then also just like you coming with questions for me and not being afraid to like ask me like how we did things and steps, and like if you have any issues or problems, or like you know, if you're afraid, like you're not afraid, but like if you need help like contacting an organization or figuring out how to like draft an email or maybe things like that, like I'm always willing to help you reach those goals and do those things.
So do you have any questions, Lily? Any more expectations, any concerns for Amaya?
I don't think so. I mean, I think like we're on the same page, basically. I'm good with everything that you said, so yeah.
Okay, great. Lauren, if you want to talk a little bit about your expectations.
And Lauren's partner is Grace, FYI.
Okay. And so I would like to, so I feel like I have ideas, and I feel like I've had ideas for a very long time, but I don't know how to act and implement them. And I'm a part of different organizations and campaigns, but I would be interested in like starting my own organization, or even starting a petition, or starting my own campaign. But I just don't know how to do that. And just getting like feedback on if things are too unrealistic or vague, or like just like, sorry if you hear yelling, just working with other people to try to like act, if that makes sense.
Do you have any specific expectations of your partner, like what you want to get out of them and from your meetings?
Not exactly, because I don't know completely what to expect, but just like encouragement and understanding, because yeah.
Okay, Grace, you have anything else you think would be good to share?
Yeah, it's really good to meet you. I'm really excited for this, and just some expectations. I think Amaya touched on them as well. Just come prepared. come with your questions, come with your ideas, and then we can work together, like step by step, about how to break them up and how to act and such. Yeah, just like come to meetings and communicate with me very well. And just kind of like stay on top of your game. Like if we say we're going to do this, I think we should go through with that. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add.
Okay, great. I see two new people, Avery and Annalise. Avery's a STEPS leader, and Avery, you missed intros. So the orientation intros are actually on the screen. So if you want to like quickly introduce yourself with that structure.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for like your patience, everybody. I was meeting with a council member to talk about like policing, so that was cool. But yeah, I'm Avery. I'm in Montgomery County, Silver Spring, Maryland. My pronouns are she, her. I'm working on education equity issues, and sometimes that like intersects and overlaps with racial equity, like the policing thing that we just did. In a kitchen fail I had recently, I tried to make Emirati donuts and it tasted like plastic. Like the whole thing was just plastic.
Okay, Annalise, can you hear? I know your video isn't on. Annalise.
Annalise, you're on mute if you're trying to talk. I'm going to text her.
She's in the
Talking
chat.
about that. Yeah.
In the chat.
Okay, that's fine. You can just like type out your intro. Right now we're talking about the general expectations between STEPS leaders and their partners and kind of how we want to structure our one-on-ones. I believe there was a switch with partners. It's going to be Avery and someone else working with.
Yeah, so we'll have Avery, Lucabed, and Annalise, and 3 others that are going to be kind of meeting in a group rather than a pair, because you all kind of seem like in a place that's more like parallel to where STEPS is at right now. So I thought that would be like an interesting group for you all to kind of exchange strategies and be like a brain trust of like good ideas. So that's the expectation there.
Yeah, so Avery, we just went over the general expectations from us for you guys, but if you wanted to add anything on about how you're expecting like to structure your one-on-ones and kind of your expectations from your partner, now would be the time.
Yeah, that looks good to me. I don't have anything to add. Really like those expectations.
Do you have any ideas of how you want to structure the one-on-ones?
Oh, I am actually kind of confused. So it says 6 times total weekly. So is that like 6 times, like maybe like 6 out of 7 days a week? Like,
No, those are 6 times meeting before September 7th. So since you're here, this counts as one of them. And then the last one counts as the whole collective meeting like this one on September 7th. So in between that, you only need 4.
got it.
With your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Does that clarify the update on the doc?
Mm-hmm.
Anika, do you want to share with their partners like the structure they came up with for the one-on-ones?
Yeah, I'll brief Avery. Oh, actually, yeah, maybe we can just do that. So we did some prep before this call and came up with a structure for kind of how we're hoping to have this is our first meeting for you all. For folks that are watching this recording, we're going to go over our expectation for how the first meeting is going to be structured and then subsequent meetings. And so we'll do some of this with Annalise, Lily, and Lauren today. And does anyone from the STEPS team, would you like to volunteer and kind of go over what we came up with?
I can go ahead. I guess we kind of talked about one, like building a base with the people that we're working with, so they're like comfortable, like sharing their experiences and can be very transparent with like what they want out of this learning group. Um, and I guess that kind of goes with like one sharing their prior experiences and like their goals for whether they want to start an organization or just like be more involved with whatever issue that they're working on. And also we like, I guess this is more for the like subsequent meetings that we're going to be having, but kind of implementing what we did in the learning groups. And I know that I know Lauren and Lily, you guys were there, but just implementing what we did in the training series and implementing what we learned there, and kind of sharing our reflection on those training series in our meetings.
And I want to read what Annalise put on the in the chat. So she's from Los Angeles, California. She's interested in all forms of justice, especially current movements and feminist issues. And she's experienced many kitchen fails. One of the worst was adding soup to chocolate cake instead of eggs. That sounds awful. At least it doesn't have to do with fire, which is 2 of my fails. So, Annalise, if your mic doesn't end up working, no worries at all. We can just continue doing this. I'll keep an eye on the chat. So if you ever want to contribute, you can put your thoughts there. One of the questions we asked, well, so as kind of that's following that structure, this first meeting is really to kind of break the ice, build trust, and then maybe talk a little bit about like what you're hoping to get, like where you are in terms of your education advocacy work, and kind of like what your expectations for these one-on-ones are. So if you can put that in the chat, we'll give you some time. And other than, and while you do that, I thought maybe we can toss it over to Avery. It might be, or we can do kind of like a Q&A. So like Annalise, Lauren, and Lily, if you want to maybe ask questions to STEPS, like a good place might be to start with like how STEPS even, like the history of STEPS, and Avery would be good at answering that, and then we can just do like a back and forth panel style for as long as you all need, and then end with sort of kind of what you all are going to commit to between now and the next time you meet with your facilitator. Lily, do you have anything to add to that?
No, so Avery, I guess, can just kind of start by going over like STEPS and the history of STEPS, and then you guys can go off and start asking questions from there.
Yeah, sure. So the history of basically where we all live, it's a very like local group. We're based in Montgomery County, and we had an issue with school boundaries where our boundaries hadn't been changed in 35 years. So like the assignment that like a 35-year-old had for like their school would be the same as like somebody like now. And so like that was like an education equity issue because it's like fiscally irresponsible. We've got like 10,000 like open seats like throughout like the county, but we're also paying for like 10,000 seats within portables, and then like it perpetuates segregation in our county. And it's no mistake, like it's no secret in our county. We refer to like this one like rich like white enclave as like the W schools, because like everybody knew, like it was so clear that their like educational outcomes were a lot better, and like their standard of education was like so much better. So we were looking at it from all these different angles and just kind of like trying to like start this boundary analysis, because it was super contentious and there wasn't really like an organized way for students to kind of like rally behind it. It was mostly like parents. But parents like didn't get like the most done, and then like the loudest voices were still like these rich white parents, because they have like all this time and like resources on their hands. So we coalesced around that, and then we kind of expanded around like other education equity issues. And since then we've just been meeting the moment, responding to police brutality within our own school district, and looking at, we have like police officers in our schools responding to coronavirus and looking at how it exacerbates like educational disparities, the achievement gap. So yeah, that's how we formed. And should I like, I guess another time too, I can get into like technical stuff of like forming your team and like how to do outreach, but I won't like get into that now.
Yeah, so other than Annalise, Lauren, and Lily, everyone here is a leader in the organization that Avery just described. So if you guys have any questions for them, now would be the time. You can put in the chat, Annalise.
I guess one question is like, how did y'all like recruit people? Like, was it because I've had like a little bit of success by recruiting people from social media, but other than that, like it's really hard, and especially because I don't know like a ton of people, and I also don't know a ton of people who have like expressed interest in working on education reform, and so it's just hard. And sometimes I've reached out to people and they've like said that they were interested and then they just like completely ghosted me. So I don't know, I was just wondering how y'all were able to get a bunch of students interested in education reform in your community.
Yeah, I've totally dealt with all of that. I totally understand that. I think too, we kind of benefited from like the moment, like the boundary analysis was such a contentious issue and it was like on everybody's minds. We were really able to capitalize off of that, and we kind of like benefited from that in a way because like everybody, like there was so much energy around it. But yeah, social media was a huge tool. Also too, like using existing structures to help you. So like, on social media, like I'm not sure like what it's like in Texas, but like DMing like your student government associations for like different high schools throughout the county, throughout Houston, you can like GSAs, Black student unions, just like any student group that you can think of that kind of like attracts like a certain type of student that might be like interested in this. And then in terms of like the ghosting, I totally like have issues with that too. One thing that really helps and is a really good like organizing tool, having one-on-one calls with people, because then they have like more buy-in, they've spoken to you as a person, there's like that like emotional connection, and it's more of not just like, oh, like I saw this on Instagram one time and it's gonna slip my mind, but it's like, oh, I remember Lily, like she was so sweet, she was so funny, and she's so passionate, I want to like help her with this. So a big key when you're having the one-on-one calls, just like really getting to know them, asking them like what motivated them, like validating them, and just like connecting, because I'm sure like people have similar experiences as to why like they got in education equity. So that's like a really great tool for that. And then just like staying like in contact with them, like the personal aspect, the personal touch is so important.
I want to just quickly interject and say that we are going to talk about how to have one-on-one conversations and how to build your team in the next module on Sunday. And so Lily, or if anyone here, I'm going to ask for a volunteer to do a bit of role play. And so if I'm just going to put that out there, if you want to, I know it's also nerve-wracking to do that in a room, like a digital room of 60 people, but if you would like that practice, just planting that seed.
Annalise has a question. She said, how has STEPS expanded to support broader or more deeply communities impacted, I think she meant to say, and also been being supported by sponsors or systems? Also, does STEPS use one main platform, email, social media, in person for connections and collaboration?
Yeah, so I'm thinking I can answer like the first questions, and I can hand over like the social media stuff to Alex and Amari if they want to answer that too. But yeah, like a huge part of like advocacy is like the organizing part and like making those connections. A really great thing is too, like once you start collaborating, it's kind of like this avalanche where more and more people hear about you and they want to like work with you and support you. So that like really helps with like really connecting deeply with your community, because it's so important to like connect with people who are like on the ground and they've been working on these issues to really like get to know your community. So I would definitely recommend that. In terms of like getting started with partnerships, just like figuring out who has like a similar agenda as you. I know Instagram is like a huge tool for us, and like especially in Montgomery County, all the like student-led groups are just called like MoCo this, MoCo that. So literally just like searching up like MoCo on Instagram helps you find like like-minded people that might be doing similar advocacy work. And then yeah, in terms of the being supported by sponsors or systems, I met Anika first, and that's kind of how everything started. So like we were always supported by the Youth Activism Project, and I like owe so much to them. Like they've helped so much. So I absolutely recommend like staying like in the space and like in contact with them, because they'll help you like grow so much, and they have such great advice. But yeah, like the social media, Alex or Amari, if you want to take that one.
Yeah, sure. I can talk about it. So, we do use like one main like social media like we use the same account for like Instagram. Like I mean, what I'm trying to say is like we have like one like central email and like one central Instagram and like Facebook. So it kind of like just makes it really easy for other people that are like trying to reach out to you to like have a clear like way to connect with you and like the organization itself. So yeah, I like definitely recommend doing that. And also it'll like make it really easy if you end up having like a team within your organization that controls like the social media aspect, because then like there won't be any confusion between like who's in charge of what, and it'll just make it a lot easier to use. So, yeah.
To add on to Alex, using multiple platforms is like a too, because you can reach different audiences. Like with our Instagram, we tend to reach more like students, and with our Facebook, we tend to reach more like parents and adults. Having multiple platforms is a good way to reach out to like different demographics too.
Since y'all are like based in one area, do you think there are challenges that come from that, and like not being an organization that is like focused on like, you know, bigger areas like, you know, like the US? Because I know a lot of organizations, like youth organizations, get a lot of like focus and attention because they focus on like all of America. Do you think there were like some struggles y'all had to overcome because y'all are just focused in Maryland and Montgomery County and stuff?
I can only think of benefits, honestly. I really don't like that one size fits all approach, and I think it's really important to really hone in on your issue and like what's going on like locally, because like nationally, like yeah, like we all have like similar issues and like similar trends, but it's not like a one size fits all approach. So I actually think it's really it's been an advantage of ours to be so local. And like that's not to say that Montgomery County is small, because it's not. I think it has like definitely thousands of students. But it's really helpful because you get to know the people on the ground, you get to know the community, and you know exactly like what the issue is, and it's easier to tackle, and to also like partner with people, see who your allies are, who your adversaries are. So I would say like only advantages.
I'll second that. I actually think, especially because we are in Montgomery County, something I've noticed about MoCo is that the students are very involved with county-wide issues. At MoCo Steps, there's like 60 plus students, and then there are tons of other student activist organizations, and they were student run too. So I think having a local organization in Montgomery County, especially Montgomery County, has really been advantageous.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt the questions for a second. We have someone new, Samara. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
So Samara is a partner. You can see on the screen the structure for introductions. You missed introductions, but if you can like use that framework to touch everyone.
Hi, I'm Samara Tanner. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a rising junior at Thomas Edison High School in Alexandria, Virginia. So I'm an FCPS student. Something I'm really focusing on getting out of this group is that our student representative to the board in FCPS doesn't vote. And I'd like to change that, hopefully by starting a student-led initiative within my county so that our student representative to the board can vote on board-wide issues.
Who here is Samara's partner? Which steps leader? Are they here?
I think Samara's in the hold on, let me double check.
So Samara right now it's great that that's your focus, because right now we're doing kind of a Q&A with the STEPS leaders about their origins and the work they do within Montgomery County. So if you have any questions, everyone here is a STEPS leader but Lauren, who else? Lauren, Lily, and Annalise. So if you have any questions for them, now would be the time. Or just about your general expectations of the setup of the one-on-ones.
Yeah, can you talk, sorry if I missed this, I was on another call earlier. Can you talk a little bit about what the structure of this is gonna look like?
Do any of our STEPS leaders want to take that? Someone that's not Luca or
I can take this. So we're going to meet a total of 6 times, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this is one of those meetings. You're going to meet with your partner for 5 times in pairs, and your partner will structure it the way they want to, but they're really just going to focus first on making sure that you are comfortable with them, and that we're gonna like start with icebreakers. Anika, can we go to the structure that we made up? Thank you. Yeah, so we're going to kind of like build some trust, and then we are going to talk about our experiences building up steps in this organization, and then we can talk about your experiences as well, and just kind of talk about expectations, questions that you might expectations for each meeting, and then questions that you might have, and then we'll end with SMART goals and steps that we can take for action.
And
Sorry.
Samara,
Oh, was that Avery?
yeah, I just want to introduce myself since it looks like Samara will be in the same group. So hey, I'm Avery. I'll be like your STEPS leader, and also so will Luca Bed. Sorry about that, Anika.
So I just wanted to make it clear for those of us that are physically at this meeting, this counts as your first meeting. So you only need to meet 4 times individually with your facilitator. And then we're going to end with like a large group meeting like this as well. And then the reason why we're going to count it is because, you know, we're already doing a lot of that stuff anyway. So we're hoping that the 4 of you will leave this meeting with a concrete like goal that you can check in with your facilitator when you meet next.
And that last meeting.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Anika.
I was just gonna say before we end this meeting, we're gonna spend 10 minutes like having you all kind of do some goal setting on what that is, and we'll support you in that.
Yeah, and I would just want to say that our last meeting on September 7th, the 6th one, is just going to be on debriefing like how well the processing or goal setting went. So that's the purpose of that one. And we didn't really go over this, you guys. A couple of you kind of touched on it about like your expectations as far as attendance and like time constraints and things like that. So if any STEPS leader wants to take over that.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Just your expectations for your partners as far as attendance and meeting times, you know, communication, how you can better your communication to not have hiccups with that.
Oh, I can answer.
Go ahead.
I was just thinking like attending, like we're probably gonna try to have like a set time and date, and like trying to like attend those meetings. If not, having a clear communication with your like with your STEPS leader, and like I'm sorry, having clear communication with your STEPS leader, and like making sure like you develop that trust with them, so like you can go and talk to them about anything.
So now that we have more people here, I just wanted to ask again what you guys think is the best mode of communication. We talked about emails, but some of you said a group meet like would be better with maybe every STEPS leader and every partner. Or if you guys just wanted to communicate one-on-one through email with your partner, what would be the best way to contact each other?
I think.
Go ahead.
I think it would be up to the partners, but I think as far as for me, like I check my email quite frequently, so that I feel like email's fine.
Are folks, can we just like establish, like, are folks generally good at, like, can you just make sure to check your email, and we'll make sure, like, like in the next couple of days, if you're not the best at checking email, and we'll make sure that like the facilitators will have your email and phone number, so that way you can make sure that, but between email and phone, we should be good, right? Okay. Does anyone like not consent to sending phone or email? Okay, good. So yeah, okay, so pass it back to Lily.
Yeah, you guys can decide later if you have a preferred mode of communication, but for now, I think everyone's good with phone and email, as long as you check it every day, or yeah. So I'm just going to continue with the Q&A if you guys have any more questions for the steps leaders, or just the purpose of this is to clarify the structure, or if you have any questions for both steps leaders and partners about how this is running. From our side, we just wanted to emphasize like communicating as much as possible, and that the standard that you should be meeting is 6 times or 4 times one-on-one, and to be there for our last meeting and to keep it around 30 minutes. But other than that, it's all up to you guys. So if you have any more questions.
And 30 minutes, just like the bottom limit, like we feel like 30 minutes is enough to give you enough like coaching and all of that kind of stuff. But if you both mutually decide that it could be longer than that, then that's fine. If we're clear on it, like, are we clear on the structure? And then if so, we can maybe go back to the Q&A of asking the STEPS leadership team questions that might apply to your context. Cool. I see a thumbs up. Thanks, Lily. All right. So any questions on, maybe we could toss it to Samara, since you just, I don't know if you've asked a question yet. But what are you wondering in terms of like what can apply to your situation? Or can you just, did you describe what you're doing, by the way? Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I've talked to like a bunch of people, and I was working with like I did the YCC and YAP collaboration, and my mentor from the last time, she was a MCPS teacher, and she told me about how like the SMOB wasn't able to vote previously, but now they've had 4 or 5 voting SMOBs, right? Is that right? So she said that if I wanted to connect with the past SMOBs, talking about like how that process came about and how I can apply that to my county, that'd be something I'd be interested in doing.
We can definitely connect you with Nate, who was the previous SMOB. Yeah, we know him pretty well. We can connect you with him. And STEPS has connections with the current SMOB, right, Avery?
We do, yeah. We're gonna be like part of his cabinet, so.
Samara, where are you from again?
Alexandria, Virginia.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. That's perfect. Oh, and are you with DC Teens Action?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so we're doing a similar initiative like through DC and Fairfax County and Falls Church and other school districts in the area to get voting SMOBs for all these different counties. So we're meeting with Ananya, who was like 3 years ago, I think, was SMOB for MoCo.
Oh, and if you're meeting with Ananya, I mean, maybe we just forget about Nate because, you know.
I mean, I don't know. I'd honestly like all the connections that I have, like the more the better. But like either way, it's kind of all a combination of everything. Like I'm doing DC Teens Action is having its own separate project, but then on my own, I'm doing trying to jumpstart my own initiative through my county state. They all kind of mix together though.
Cool. Well, we're also connected with DC Teens Action in many ways, but we can talk about that offline. Do you have any specific questions that you are thinking about that you think STEPS could answer for you?
Not at the moment, I don't think.
So you're pretty clear on these partnerships, and
yeah,
great. Anyone else has questions? Anika, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say, if no one has any more questions, maybe we can kind of start thinking about like maybe doing some goal setting, like with this. Everyone was at the goal setting meeting, right? Like the SMART goal and everything like that. Okay, so maybe we can do some SMART goals with everyone, like do some SMART goal practice. What do you guys think?
I have one last question.
Oh, and then we can go into the SMART goals.
Okay. So y'all mentioned like using Facebook to get in touch with like more adults. And I was just wondering if there were like any accommodations y'all had to make, like in like your posting or how you reached out to parents, because I know that like students you can probably get to through social media and word of mouth, and then teachers, you know, you can reach out to your own teachers and stuff, but like parents, I don't know, just I know that like the way that parents like respond to social media is a lot different to the way that youth respond to social media. So were there certain things that y'all did to bring in more adult allies?
I guess like the only specific thing would maybe be like connecting with like the school. But like besides that, there's not like really much you could do to like connect with the parents specific like connect with them specifically unless you like, you know, directly message them or something. But like but yeah, there's not like really a way to like connect with them. Yeah, I don't know. Like there's not like a good way to do that. There is like one thing that you might find efficient is like there's a way to link your Instagram and Facebook. So like whenever you post on Instagram, it posts automatically on Facebook. So that's just like a tip, but there's not like really anything like specific you should like do like directly for the parents.
Actually, if I could add one thing that we did, like sometimes we would have events that were targeted at parents because like they can actually vote and like the students can't. So like we really focused on that demographic. And we would tap into like different communities. So like I'm on like 2 different like neighborhood listservs, like email chains for everybody in the neighborhood. So just like emailing those parents, telling parents to tell their friends. I was literally texting like my friends' moms, like telling them to tell their friends. What else can you do? I know at one point too, I mean it's hard now because of like coronavirus, but using like community hubs like churches and like community centers. At one point we were going to do that, but it was difficult because like they weren't meeting in person. But yeah, just like utilizing things like that. And then for what Alex said about like it can like send a post on all these different platforms. This might just be for Twitter, but I found that when I do that, it doesn't actually duplicate the post. It just directs you to Instagram, which might be kind of difficult. I'm not sure if it does the same thing for Facebook, but there is this different tool that you can use. I'm trying, I think it's called Hootsuite. Yeah, Anika, correct me if I'm wrong, or Luit, but you can like coordinate posts and you can like time posts on all these different platforms and it sends at the exact same time. And it'll like duplicate the post. So that might be a little bit better. Yeah, but Anika, is it called Hootsuite?
Yeah, sorry, there's like people in my house. Yeah, it is.
Okay. And it's free. I can send the link in the chat.
Okay, we can go ahead and go into SMART goals now. Does anyone else have any more questions before we move on? All right, 1 second. Oh, Anika, you just wanted the partners to participate in this.
Yeah, I thought it'd be nice to get a sense of what other partners are thinking about in terms of like what they want to achieve by the next time they check in with their facilitators.
Okay, so why don't we go around, starting with Lily. I don't know if you're familiar with the SMART goal framework, but
Yeah. So I have mine like written down from when we did it in the thing. So I'm just going to be kind of like referencing off of that.
Right.
So I guess the specific goals of my organization are to for curriculum changes to include more POC history and then literature written by POC, hiring more POC teachers, creating a database of resources for people to access online, and then giving a platform to students to speak about what they want to, like what curriculum reform they want to see in school. Okay, and then measurable goals, the ones that we came up with for hiring teachers of color, we decided that to get Houston at least up to par with the national average of like people of color educators. And then also in 1 year have 10 students from each school district in the organization, because there are 19 different school districts in Houston. So yeah, to have like 10 students from each one so that they can work on their each or on their own individual thing. I don't know, for achievable, we just kind of like said, yeah, it's achievable, but like something to
Okay, sorry, for the sake of time, we don't need to go into like the achievable
Okay.
stuff. Just
All
like
right.
I feel like is most like I think specific and the measurable is the most important, and time bound.
Okay.
So if we can also, I love the big like the sweeping goals. I think that's great. What is something you want to do within a week that's specific and measurable that relate to this?
Yeah, so that one would be to like find and contact education reform and racial justice activists in my area.
And how many are you hoping to find and contact?
At least 5, but probably more around like 10 to 15, because not all of them will you know, get back to me and be interested in stuff like that.
Cool. So the goal could be email at least 10 to 15 ed reform.
Yeah.
That's a great specific SMART goal. All right. Who wants to go next?
I can.
Go for it.
So, I guess in the next week, like, what I'm trying to do is create, and I don't know, so create a partnership between outside placements and regular school. And basically, I guess it would be too much to explain, but like there's an organization called Best Buddies, and they have different locations and different chapters. And I know someone from Best Buddies, and so reaching out to her and asking her if either their organization could reach out to, like, trying to reach out to Best Buddies to figure out how to establish connections with a regular public school.
Anything else? Like in a week?
It's okay if this is the only thing you want to achieve. That's totally fine as well.
Like this week or just in general?
This week.
Oh. I think so, because I just don't know how to go about it at all.
I think this is a great achievable and measurable goal for you, Lauren. So who would like to go next?
I can go. This week, this has been on my to-do list for a while, but one of our former board members, Ryan McElveen, he's like kind of like the iconic like FCPS like board member, and all the students like know who he is. But he's accessible, like the most accessible of current and former board members from our school board. And so I wanted to reach out to him and learn more about the process of SMOB elections in FCPS and what it takes, what it would take to get our SMOB to vote. Just because I know in Maryland, right, you had to go through the state, right? It wasn't just like a countywide thing, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Lily, that is what Nate said, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
They have
Like,
oh, go ahead.
oh, like to get the SMOB to vote in MoCA, like you had to go through the state because it's like a voting position. Like it's not just a county.
Yeah, Montgomery County, that's what had to happen.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I just wanted to reach out to, because I think the process would be similar in Virginia. So I wanted to reach out to my board member and see what he knew.
If that's all for you, Samara, Annalise, if you want to type.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, I got my mic working, thankfully. Video is a little weird because my connection's been strange, but sorry, I'll definitely have it fixed by next meetings. But anyway, I really wanted to, so this week I've been looking at sort of like the mission that I wanted to put forth. And I am basically interested in using my social justice and environmental justice club at school to hold an event, because we've never held like a very big public event before. We've done like initiatives in our community about recycling and yeah, different like little sort of things, but I think since now we're virtual, we'll be distance learning, I thought it would be even easier to actually hold like a virtual community event. So sort of like a summit, and I wanted to gear it towards high school age girls and or female identifying people. So I found out that there are different like grant opportunities, but I don't really need those because it's going to be a virtual event. So I looked into just sort of like what I would need, and it seems like a very small budget to hold like a virtual conference and to give out like maybe different notebooks or ship different prizes to people for participation. So I'm just going to focus, I think, this week on like relaying that message to the team members who I want to help with this. And I know they'd all be excited about it, but I haven't really gotten the mission to them. And yeah, it was mainly like an idea of sort of like 2 of us, and then we're going to recruit our team of about 6 or 7 girls. And yeah, and I also wanted to start reaching out to different like possible partners or like speakers to inspire the people who are attending the event. We wanted sort of like workshops and panels, so I think we should start getting that ready. So yeah, that's basically my goal for this week, to kind of use email and message, I think, and possibly set up a social media as well, or a website.
So that's a lot of great stuff. Just to clarify, are you hoping to like, so you want to get buy-in from your team? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, so I just haven't contacted like the majority of the members who I think are interested in helping with this event. So I was going to I officially this week wrote up sort of what our purpose is and what the vision is for the event. So now I can clearly communicate that. So I thought it's a good time to share that mission with the team members, and then we can go from there and add in more that other people want to see in the event as well.
So how many people are you planning on reaching out to?
So for team members, I think 7, and then for sort of panelists, potential people who will speak at the event, I'm guessing we'll start probably this week with probably 15 or 10 to 15. And in total, we'd like to have about 30, but yeah, because it's going to be a sort of a few different workshops, and I don't know obviously if some of them will probably not want to speak and some of them might. So just to be on the safe side, I'd say emailing a total of 30 people.
Okay. And get buy-in from at least half, maybe?
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that we are getting as specific as possible. And then I put bonus as set up social media, which is pretty simple.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right, so great job. Glad to have folks be very specific. Lily, if you have something to share, I'll pass it off to you real quick, but I thought maybe we can end with some checkouts from Lauren, Samara, Annalise, and Lily. And then if the STEPS folks want to share anything, we can also do that as well.
Yeah, so I know we only really focus on the first two of the SMART goals, but we're just going to be sharing the stock with STEPS leaders. So if you want to kind of keep building off of them, like in your one-on-ones, that would be good, because I know a couple of us started going into like long-term goals. So yeah, we'll be sharing this with you guys via email, but I think...
Yeah, actually, I do have a question for Annalise. I just do want to make sure that the relevance is there, because you're going to be doing with holding an event with the Environmental Justice Club. So how are you going to relate that back to Ed Equity? That's where I was a little lost on.
Okay, so I'm trying to focus on, sorry, first of all, our club is technically called the Coalition for Educational Justice, and we focus on sort of intersectional issues in our community and beyond. And then from my experience, I want to focus on kind of like the gender and racial inequity in all realms. So I was thinking that this event would be geared towards just like young women and girls who are in high school and like the first years of college, so that they can see how they can apply these areas of justice advocacy to their lives as scholars.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
We're over, so if folks need to leave, can folks stay for like a couple more minutes to do like a checkout? Okay. All right, Lily.
Okay, yeah, so since we're over time, why don't we start with the partners? Annalise, since you just wanted, if you want to quickly check out, say how you're feeling. If you have any more lingering questions, if you want to ask that.
Okay. So do I just say kind of like what I learned, or what should I?
You can, if you want, just kind of say how you're feeling. If you're feeling like confident in this, would it be good to hear?
Oh.
Yeah, and if you have more questions, you can ask.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel very, very grateful and excited, primarily because I think without joining this group, I wouldn't really have had the catalyzing sort of push to actually take, to know that I can actually do something in my own, like whole community. And yeah, so I feel really grateful for that, this community here and all of you, and for I also feel just excitement for the sort of like all the different advocacy that I see going on, and that this group is really furthering.
That's great. So glad to hear that. Do you have any more questions for specifically Avery Lukaved? Do you feel good going into your first meeting?
Yeah, I think I don't have any more questions as of now. Yeah, but I was wondering if does STEPS have a website that I could also kind of like look at for out of curiosity?
We do have a website. Alex, do you think you could drop it in the chat?
Thank you.
Okay, so if that's all, Annalise, thank you so much for sharing. We'll go to Lily.
All right, yeah. I'm excited, a little nervous, just because, I don't know, one-on-one meetings can kind of be like nerve-wracking. Like even if the person is like super nice, you're still like, nerves. But yeah, I'm excited. I have like a lot of goals that are like in my head, and it'll be great to work and like make them tangible, and start seeing like real concrete like results from it. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, I'm just like excited.
Do you have any more questions for your partner, which I believe is Amaya? I'm not wrong.
No.
Okay.
Be good.
Samara?
I'm excited. I think this is something that I've been thinking about for a while with DC Teens Action. Like, we're also in the process of putting an event together that kind of combines all of the things that I'm talking about here. So I'm excited to see that come together as well as this. As far as questions, will we get information about like our meetings? Like Avery and Lucabed, will you guys follow up with me, I guess, after this?
Yeah, so I think Lulit or Anika mentioned that like they'll put out like everybody's like information, and yeah, we can reach out to you and like set up a time.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so assuming everyone's good with their email number out, which we think everyone's okay with that, we'll just be giving it to the steps leaders and then they'll follow up with you for your scheduling and everything like that. Lauren?
I feel optimistic and thankful for this experience. Wait, I forgot what you asked.
Just basically what you said, how you're feeling, if you have any lingering questions for your partner or for the group in general.
Right now, I don't have any questions for Grace, but I'm excited to meet her. So, yeah.
Okay. That's all the partners, if I'm mistaken. I don't know if we want to go around to every single steps leader unless you guys have anything to say, but if any steps leader has anything to share, if you want to check out with kind of the same question, I guess.
I can go. I'm like really excited. I know as much as it's like new for the partners, is new for the steps leaders as well. But another thing is that like I feel like to get the best out of these learning groups, I think we need to like be transparent, and I think by like share your ideas, like don't be shy to like share your ideas, because I know like a lot of you guys said you have a lot of ideas, you just don't know how to like hone down on either like a single like idea or just like how to put your ideas to action. But I think that's where we kind of come into place and kind of share our experiences. And yeah.
I'm just going to echo that and say I agree. Transparency and communication is really what we want to emphasize here. And you guys don't have that many times to meet. Like it's only 4 if you think about it, 30 minutes. So just take advantage of that time and be super transparent with your facilitator with any questions you have, so as to make sure that you actually met a certain goal by the time we meet in September. If any other steps leader wants to check out.
I just want to echo what Lucabeth said also, because I'm feeling really excited also. And I also want to say, like, don't be scared to try new stuff. Please, my partner's not here, but I want to give you all that advice. Please don't be scared to try new things and to experience the opportunities you guys have. Because if I didn't DM Steps Instagram to try, like, I was trying to do new stuff, I wouldn't be here right now. So just try new stuff.
Thank you, Delina. Anyone else?
Yeah, I just want to add on to like what Delina said. I think I can like speak for all of us. Like when I say like we're all excited to work with you guys, and like don't it's like I think Lucabeth said that like we're kind of in the same position as you guys, like with the one-on-ones, but like we don't want you guys to be like afraid or anything, and just be excited about it, I guess. And just know that like at least like some of us have been in the same boat as some of you all, and if you ever like need help, we can connect you or like help you ourselves. So,
yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just going to second what Alex said. I think it's important to emphasize that we're learning alongside you, and just be comfortable, be vulnerable with us, and communicate with us. I think if we are learning together and we make sure that we kind of respect each other, then we will be able to do this well. Go ahead, Avery.
Yeah, just gonna add, like, I'm looking forward to it. This is a really cool group of people, and I'm just always excited to see like our generation, just like the change that we're making.
Okay, if
Yeah.
that's, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna add that also, like my partner's not here, but it's super exciting just hearing what you guys are doing, and I'm super excited. I think this is gonna be a great learning experience for all of us.
I'm glad we heard from all the SEPS leaders. Thank you guys so much. Those are great words of encouragement. Anika, if you want to add anything.
No, I just think y'all covered most of it. The only thing I think I would want to add is we should definitely keep the group together. So our folks, maybe we could set up like a group me, like invite in your follow-up, you could include the group me invite link, and then we can, like as a large group that way. That would be exciting. And then I'm just excited to have the big group again at the end. And just, this is a new process, I think, for everyone, us included. Like, we've never run a program like this. So if there are any hiccups or bumps in the road, just like, please let us know. And we'll also be getting continuous feedback from the facilitators. So if you want to share feedback through them, that's also possible. And then, we're trying to figure out how the Youth Activism Project can support. So if you ever feel like there's something that our organization can do to support, just let us know. No idea is a bad idea. And let's really like make some movements, y'all. Like, I'm so excited for this group.